Hey guys, Nock here. Today I want to talk about blood points for one particular, well, a couple of reasons, I guess. So recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago now-ish, I was doing a blood point speed run, and I severely overestimated just how long it would take and how much of a grind it would be to reach the blood point cap. Because I thought, oh, it would only take three, maybe pushing it 4 hours to reach, the 5 billion cap from 0. No, I was wrong. It took, I think, like an hour and a bit just to reach 1 million. And in the end, after playing the game for like 4 hours something, we only ended up reaching, I think, like half of the cap. Which, that kind of just put into perspective just how much of a grind it is to get blood points in this game. So that's why today, I want to talk about blood points and purely like my thoughts on it, the grind and the experience playing the game and how I think it maybe should be changed. But we're gonna go over quickly the pros and the cons of it, because yes, I do think there's some good and bad if we do go changing this up, and then overall just what I would do to change this basically. So gotta go over just the biggest reason why I think this should be changed, and this is funny coming from someone which just plays the game a lot. The main reason you gotta change this blood point grind is purely to help new players, which honestly I could imagine they maybe do this one day, because we are already going down the route with a lot of things that are changing to already help the new player experience, which is good. Again, doing more changes like this to help bring more newer people in, especially since the game's been out for 10 years and you have so many killers and survivors and perks and all that and add-ons and just so much stuff to learn, never mind going into ways to play the game and all that and looping. There's a lot of depth to this game, but we all know that. That's why you're watching a DVD video. But purely the reason why I'd say this, the biggest thing to do this is to help the new player grind, is because look at it this way: if you've got someone which has started the game and they have we'll say 50 hours in, they've maybe got a couple of survivors P1, they still only got a handful of perks, and let's be honest, perks can change a lot on your playstyle, finding out what perks you really like and make you just have fun in the game, but also they can be the difference between how good you do in a match. Because let's say we'll say off the record or something. Okay, let's say off the record, anti-tunnel, because I think that's the biggest example. You could let's say going off the current state of the game, someone could be going for ages, they might not get off the record for them 50 hours in, and throughout the matches maybe they get tunneled a lot and they can't really counter that. Whereas if you increase the blood point gain, let's say it's always at a 200%, we'll say, so now they get that in 20 hours of playing, they can quickly get Zarina, P1 her and all that. Then all of a sudden now they may be dying less because of the anti-tunnel, and that might make them just enjoy the game more. You get what I mean? It makes it more welcoming. Now don't get me wrong, I get this does kind of fall under the whole band-aid experience. You know how DBDs had this for a while, where you have a problem, and instead of them fixing it, Boons for example, they just add a perk in or they rework a perk to solve the issue instead. And I know lots of people don't like that at times, but I think at least a step in the right direction. It's stuff like this which is why it will help new players just basically get more of the content quicker, so they can play around with it more, enjoy the game more, and have more of that variety. Now this is where we get to how this backfires, I'm almost gonna say, not in a bad way, because at the end of the day I think that's good. I think that good outweighs this almost bad we're about to go on about here, and I'm gonna talk now more for players like me, which just play a lot basically. So I recently have got now 8 P100s, which I know is a bit, but the quicker you can get blood points in this game, all of a sudden the less stuff you have to go after in the game. Now I've been saying this since what I got 4, maybe 5 P100s, that I really have nothing to do in the game, because once you've got a couple of them, I will say maybe even your first one, it's when you hit a V1 and all that for the first time, you don't really like need it as much anymore. Then like you literally, like you kind of just throw blood points at a character just to, you know, not be sat on cap all the time. Like that's the reason why I've got, you know, like recently Wesker and Konaki to P100, because it's just like, okay, who do I like the most? Who do I want like blood points on? Who do I want add-ons on? Stuff like that. Like that's kind of it. And with Survivor, it's purely just I like that person because they all kind of play the same. I've even less reason to prestige more Survivors, and I have more P100s on them than I do on Killer. But like, so basically what I'm getting at is the more blood points you get quicker, the less grind you get, because eventually you reach a point where you P3 everyone, and then like there's just less like incentive. But again, you don't want to sit on cap. Now that does want to get me to the point of talking about the blood point cap in a second, but first I do want to clarify and say that I do understand that it still will take a long time to, like, you know, get everyone P3, get a P100 and all that. So I get, obviously, the stuff I'm going on about here might seem very minuscule or not as relevant at first, but you do reach a point really quickly where you've got like Platinum Plus hours. You've got like, before you know it, in the blink of an eye, you've played the game for like 2-3 years. You've got 2-3 P100s. Like, I feel like I've blinked and people I've saw got into this game have now, you know, done all that stuff I've just mentioned. Now, I do think some of the other stuff, like, you know, P3 and gold the characters might vary from person to person, purely because people kind of vary on when they prioritize that stuff. I didn't do that for a bit. Maybe if I was to change up what I had done in the past, I would have done that earlier. But that's just like a preference opinion thing, but getting off topic. Now, again, the blood point cap though. So basically, how I mentioned before, oh, you know, the only reason P100 some people now, so you don't hit cap. Does this mean that we should remove the cap? Especially if we, let's say, increase the amount of blood points just people get on average, like let's say we double it. Does the blood point cap need to exist? Now, this might be kind of subjective, but I think that the blood point cap should stay. Honestly, I think where it is at 5 million, I think it's fine. Maybe at most one day you push it to like 7, but you leave it at that. Purely because, and this is, again, come from someone which, you know, grinds the game a bit, plays new stuff when it comes out. I still, you know, do love the game, because I think there is more glaring issues than blood points, I will be honest, at the moment. But if, let's say, they remove the blood point cap, and I can purely just be like, oh, I'm just gonna, this chapter's coming out in like a few months, I don't need more P100s at the moment, I'm just gonna store blood points, store blood points, store blood points, and then when a character comes up which I like let's say, I don't know, Resident Evil Part 3 is like coming out, I could be on like 50 million for all I know, and then whoa, like Lady Dimitrescu or something gets added, whoa, bam, that's it, P50 already. Like, I know it like might sound weird, but like, I like when a character comes along and all they want to do is play them and put blood points into them, because it's giving me stuff to do. Now, this like leads into the bigger thing of like, there should just be more stuff for us to grind for, or just, I guess, more stuff to spend blood points on. But I know they've already got a bunch of various things to do, and they can also, you know, incentivize us playing the game other ways, you know, like modes and that. So there's basically a lot of different like ways you can handle this, and this obviously leads into other, you know, different issues and all that, because I'm getting a bit like off track, as you can see. But honestly, so here's what I think though, like solution wise, what we should do. Because again, just to clarify what we went over so far, the main reason they do this is to help new players. Again, if you're someone which has like 2,000 hours in the game, at this rate you don't really need a blood point like increase, because what's it going to do for you? But again, the more blood points you can get quicker, the less and less stuff you're going to feel like you want to grind towards, because you will reach a point maybe where there's just people you don't even want to prestige. Like I won't lie, I think the only thing now for me is I could maybe P6 people for the sake of it, or P9 at some point, but I'm not doing that anytime soon. But my solution basically, like I've been saying throughout this video, is I think they just increase the blood points by like, make it so it's always like 200%. So I think on average you get like 30k a match. Make it so you can get like up to 60k. And I think, honestly, that might be healthy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you want to be getting like 100k a match. I don't know. I think just small baby steps throughout this would be better than just all of a sudden I can play the game one day and then we're getting like 200k. Because you kind of just get prestigious left and right there. And then, like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it would be good. Like, the more blood points you get, even more it helps, you know, the newer player experience. Like I've said, you know, the more the better. But I think there reaches a point where it is too much. Maybe I'm in the minority for that. I don't know. But all around, guys, I do want to hear your thoughts on this. Maybe you don't care about blood points. Maybe you just enjoy playing the game. And if, you know, maybe that's the secret to it. If you just enjoy playing the game that much, maybe the blood points don't matter and they should just focus on the gameplay instead. But yeah, I just wanted to like talk about this a little bit, really give my thoughts on it. Again, guys, let me know down below what you think, and I'll catch all you guys in the next one.